Constitution. It doesn't mean anything today. We live in a mental institution. 'Cause everything's crazy, crazy, crazy. They're doing away with borders. It's a new world. It's a new day. There is a new world order coming to your town. You better get ready. You better get ready. It's a new day. It's a new way. It's a new day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the Samsel Report. Oh, yes, coming to you live from beautiful Clearwater, Florida. That's right, right here on Revolution Radio. That's right. Now, old Wild Bill here, your host. I have been watching the week's developments, and I am hereby ready to report what I have found to my listening audience. So, let me see, what am I doing here? Oh, yes. First of all, we have an important message. And it's for all you listeners out there. That's right. You know, this here program on this here network on Revolution Radio is listener supported. That's right. And that means you guys out there. Oh, yes. So please send us money. That's right. Now, we don't want a whole lots of money, but I tell you what, if you can cuff up $100 bill, if you can donate $100 bill to Revolution Radio, you know what you get? Huh? You get 35,000 seeds. That's right. 35,000 seeds for every kind of fruit and vegetable you can think of. That's right. Plus, you get all the instructions and everything, what to do with them, how to plant them, how to harvest them, what to do with them after that. Right? Everything you need to know. So, that's for a $100 donation to Revolution Radio. Because Revolution Radio is the voice of truth and freedom that you won't find anywhere else. Okay? All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 4th day of February, the year 2017. And here we go with our headline roundup. Okay? All right. First headline. Here we go. Canadian terrorists shout Allahu Akbar during slaughter inside Canadian mosque. 6 killed, 8 injured. That's right. That's the headline. Here's the story. Gunmen opened fire on more than 50 people during evening prayers in a deadly shooting condemned as a terrorist attack on Muslims. Okay? All right. 2 suspects shouted Allahu Akbar and opened fire inside the Islamic Cultural Center of Quebec, which is also known as the Grand Mosque of Quebec. At least 6 people were killed, 8 injured, 6 in very serious condition. 39 potential victims escaped. Now, a witness who asked to remain anonymous told CBC's French language service Radio Canada that 2 masked individuals entered the mosque. They opened fire, and as they shot, they yelled, "Allahu Akbar." The bullets hit people that were praying, said the witness. The Prime Minister, or the Canadian Prime Minister, says the mosque shooting was a terrorist attack on Muslims. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, a terrorist attack on Muslims by Muslims. Okay, all right. Now, how did that happen? Huh? Huh? Anyway, we have more. There's more. Oh, yes. Oh, look out. Quebec mosque shooting, a devastating blow to the leftist narrative. Oh, yes, you heard right. That's the headline. Here's the story. Leftist media rushes to judgment while lacking details. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau immediately released a statement glorifying multiculturalism, defending the honor of Muslim Canadians, and declaring diversity is our strength. So, what you got is a crazed Muslim that went berserk, yelling Allahu Akbar, shot a bunch of people in a mosque. Right? And somehow it's President Trump's fault, okay? That's, huh? What was that? No, it's not the fault of the religion of peace. Of course not. No, not the fault of the religion of peace. So don't blame the Muslims. That's right. Islam has nothing to do with this. That's right. The answer to the problem is to take in more third world refugees. Right? Huh? Huh? What are you kidding me? Huh? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we find our next headline. The United States is on the precipice of widespread civil unrest. Oh, yes. Rioting and violence can ultimately lead to widespread civil unrest and calls for revolution. It doesn't take much of a trigger to push extremely large crowds of very angry protesters into committing acts of violence and rioting. No, what it takes is money. That's what it takes, right? From 30-odd organizations funded by George Soros and his pals. Huh? We continue. Rioting and violence can ultimately lead to widespread civil unrest and calls for revolution. The election of Donald Trump was perhaps the single most galvanizing moment for the radical left in modern American history. That's what this article says. But I say no. No, the most galvanizing moment was when the establishment realized what a setback a Trump victory would be to the globalist New World Order agenda. See? See? And so they pulled out all the stops. That's right. They decided to go all out, go whole hog, full tilt boogie, right, to trash Trump. But the article continues. It says here, we have already seen that a single move by Trump can literally cause protests to erupt from coast to coast. Well, no. No, 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 no. Whatever moves Trump makes is supported by the majority of the Americans who put him in the White House to begin with, to make those moves, right? Right? What causes the protest to erupt is agitation and funding by Soros organizations and the mainstream media. So we continue. For example, on Friday, Trump signed an executive order that banned refugees from Syria indefinitely and that placed a 90-day ban on travel to the United States for citizens of Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Yet within hours, protesters began to storm major airports, and by Sunday, very large crowds were taking to the streets all over the country. Okay? All right? But again, the vast majority of the American people support Trump's action. Right? So the protesters hit the streets. And where did the protesters come from? Well, they were all organized and funded by far-left organizations, funded by, guess who? George Soros. Now, Soros and his globalist pals in the Democrat and Republican parties. Okay? Now, in order to clear these Soros-paid wild baboons from the streets of this nation and send them home to their parents' basements, we're going to have to cut off the source of the money that funds them. Oh, yes. George Soros, Nazi collaborator, destroyer of nations, has created and funds far-left radical organizations, including Open Society, Media Matters, MoveOn.org, Black Lives Matter, etc., etc., etc. In fact, you wouldn't believe how many far-left radical organizations are actually bankrolled by this dirtbag. That's right. That's right. Stirring up violence in the streets. This is this guy's trademark. Oh, yes, it's his trademark. These protesters aren't there because they give a crap about whatever. Oh, no. No, 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 no. They are there because they're getting paid, baby. That's right. That's right. It's a freaking street party, isn't it? Yeah. It's a go out and raise hell party. This is what it is. Uh-huh. While Soros is inciting violence in the streets of the United States. He's also pushing the Muslim invasion of Europe as well. Oh, yes, he's a busy man. That's right. And he's bankrolling the opposition to Trump's ban on Muslims from several Middle Eastern countries. Right? He doesn't like that. No. So he's bankrolling the opposition. In other words, paying people to go and, demonstrate and riot and act like a bunch of crazed baboons in the street. That's his trademark. Right? Right? That's George Soros. Right? Boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. It's enough to make a grown man cry. You know that? It's enough to make a grown man break down and cry like a baby. Huh? Huh? My God. Don't get me started on Soros. Oh, it's too late. Too late. You got me started on Soros now. Okay? Now you're just going to have to Our next headline: Soros funded groups behind the effort to stop Trump's border plan. Huh? Huh? Trump's immigration ban has really pissed off George Soros. that's, that's right. The flurry of anguished news stories and protests appears to be part of a coordinated public relations effort financed by the left wing billionaire George Soros. Okay? All right. So now you got me started on Soros. Now look out, because here we go. Here we go, baby. You asked for it. This dirty, rotten scumbag. That's right. That's right. That's what this scumbag does. That's what he does. He sticks his nose into other people's countries. Oh, yes. And he stirs them up. He stirs up the leftist radicals, and he bankrolls violence in the streets. That's what he does. He destabilizes countries with open border policies. That's part of his open society. That's another of his little groups, open society. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He uses migration as a weapon, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Am I right? He uses Islam as a weapon, ladies and gentlemen. This man is public enemy number one. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This guy is right out of a James Bond movie. This is the evil, this is, my God. And this guy's walking around free as a bird out in the streets. He ain't got a worry in the world, right? Except the only worry he's got in the world is how he's going to screw everything up for everybody, everywhere. Right? The average, the average brain dead street baboon, though employed by Soros, has no idea who the hell Soros is. Isn't that something? Isn't that incredible? The average guy, the average moron out in the street, jumping up and down on the car, smashing windows, yelling and screaming and acting like a bunch of crazy monkeys out in the street, right? None of these people don't even know who Soros is. Okay? They have no idea. Right? Joe Public obviously doesn't know or doesn't give a damn that Soros is behind all this crap. See? The mainstream media covers for this guy. That's right. They cover for of course. Of course. They're in on the action, baby. Right? He's paying them too. Right? Come on. He's oh my God almighty. Soros money is flying around all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes. Oh yes. And if you want to get rid of these people on the streets, you got to cut the head off the snake. Okay? We got to take out George Soros. You got to shut this guy down. Oh, yes. Definitely. No. I'm not saying somebody should go out and assassinate this, execute this guy. That's what all the liberals are saying about Trump. Somebody should kill Trump, kill Trump, kill Trump. Well, we're going to get into that later on. But My God, ladies and gentlemen. If nobody stops this creep, if nobody puts a stop to this creep, then we can expect to see the monkeys and the apes and the baboons out in the streets in all their glory for the next 4 years. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You you don't want that to happen, do you? My God. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You're listening to the Samsel Report. Oh, yes, you are. And it's your own damn fault. That's right. That's right. And I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. No, 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 no. No, I'm not done yet. I got more. Okay? Okay, so here we go. Our next headline: Trump supporters attacked outside Berkeley Milo speech. Milo Yiannopoulos, uh, editor for Breitbart. Okay. What does it say? I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Anarchists and leftist agitators rioted across the campus to stop a speech by Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos. Okay. Now, just stop for a minute. Just hold on a minute. Okay. Picture that in your mind. All right. Now, who do you think is behind this street party on the UC Berkeley campus? Hmm? Nah? Do I have to say it? Huh? Do I have to say the guy's name? We all know who's responsible for this bull hockey. Huh? Huh? Which leads us into our next headline. Our next headline. Look who funds the group behind the call to arms at Milo's Berkeley event. Who? Who? Am I keeping you in suspense? Huh? Or do you already know? George Soros. Okay? All right? The Alliance for Global Justice, baby. Okay? It's the Soros group. All right? They put the whole thing together, right? The left-wing group that helped organize the violent shutdown of the Milo Yiannopoulos event at the University of California, Berkeley on Wednesday is backed by a progressive charity that is in turn funded by George Soros. And also the city of Tucson, a major labor union, and several large companies. Okay. But Soros's money is in there. The Alliance for Global Justice, based in Tucson, is listed as an organizer and fiscal sponsor for Refuse Fascism, another group, a communist group that encouraged left-wingers to shut down the Yiannopoulos event. Okay. Now, if you have seen the videos of the shenanigans going on at the University of California at Berkeley, like a bunch of crazed baboons just let out of their cage. They're running wild all over the place. I'll tell you what. This is Soros' trademark. Okay? So there you go. There you have it. Yiannopoulos' talk was canceled after demonstrators lit fires, vandalized businesses, and assaulted Donald Trump and Yiannopoulos supporters. Okay, so So what do the leftists do? What is their reaction? Well, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Prominent leftists defend, justify violent riot at UC Berkeley. They defend and they justify the violence at UC Berkeley. Women beaten, pepper sprayed by crazed thugs before the Milo event. Trump supporters were beaten with flagpoles, punched and stomped during the chaos. Right? They get off on that. Well, they get off. They stand in there and they get all excited. They get off. They get some kind of thrills, by watching people get beaten. All right? This is your typical leftists, right? Right? Rioters shot fireworks at the building in an effort to shut down the event. However, instead of decrying the violence, prominent leftists across the spectrum justified and even applauded it. That's right. That's right. Believe it or not. Right? Indianapolis. Right? This is the violence that the mainstream media and the left has legitimized for the last 18 months. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So there you go. There you have it. There you go. Now what do we got going here? Hold on a second here. Wait a minute here. Anyway, you're listening to the Samsel Report right here on Revolution Radio. Our next headline. Now check this out. Check this out. Are you ready for this? Huh? Times journalist calls for assassination of President Trump. A Times columnist and author, India Knight, has called for the assassination of U.S. President Donald J. Trump. The assassination has taken such a long time, she mused. That's what she mused. The assassination is taking such a long time. Why hasn't somebody taken this guy out already? I mean, it's just taken so long. I'm getting tired of waiting. Someone should really assassinate. It's taken such a long time. That's what she had to say. Huh? You know what? You know what? Let me tell you something here, Indianite. I'm getting tired of people calling for the assassination of President Trump. Okay? All right? Aren't you getting tired? I know my listeners out there are just as tired as I am as well. So, huh? It's like open season on Trump. Huh? Who are these people? Who are these people? You should be ashamed of yourselves. That's right. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I don't remember anybody calling to assassinate Obama. Do you remember people coming out? Not even after 8 years of degrading and dividing this country. Right? Can you imagine what would happen if somebody came out and said, hey, I think that somebody should assassinate Obama? Huh? How do you think that would fly? So, I tell you what. Shut your mouths already, okay? Huh? Nobody wants to hear your bullshit anymore, okay? All right? In fact, I think it's about time that somebody called for the assassination of anybody who calls for the assassination of President Trump. Okay? How's that sound? Does that sound okay? Huh? Huh? My God, people. What do we live in the Twilight Zone? We live in the freaking Twilight Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.